Alright folks, here we are, we're back talking about our ghosts example again. And we had gotten to the point where we have a ghost class. And I can't stress again how important it is for you to understand this process that we just went through. Creating objects and not just using the ones that processing has built in, but creating them yourself is the most important skill that you're going to learn from this class. And again, we made up this class ourselves. It has a couple variables, it has a constructor, and it has the ability to chase the player, which we went through last time. Why does this matter? Why would I put this code here and not inside the draw function? Well, the answer is, of course, that I can now create a whole bunch of ghosts, and that's the point. You create one model, and then you use it a whole bunch of times. So let's make some other ghosts, right? So right there, I've created a second ghost. And I can create a third ghost. I can create as many ghosts as I want, and then use those objects. So ghost is the class, waffles is the object name. Okay, so now we have three ghosts, and then down here in the draw function, which is the function that sort of actually does stuff, it's run a bunch of times. We're going to use those objects. So let's see, Inky and Waffles. Well, we say Inky. Well, what can Inky do? Inky can chase. Okay, we've already created Inky. He can create himself. Whoops, it's not going to work, is it? And then we can call the other one, which is waffles.chase. This dot, someone asked me about that during Avasaurus the other day. This dot just allows you to go inside of your object. So we have the ability to run the chase function, and so we can put it here. We could also say something like this, print, and we could say inky.x. And that gets you at his x position, because that's something that if you look, that's inside of Ghost. And the dot just allows you to get inside there. This print function will actually dump things down here in the console, and that's kind of just a way for you to debug. The player won't ever see that. So let's go ahead and run the game. And you can see here that we're going to have a bunch of ghosts attack us. Okay, there's all three of them. And then down here, as the draw function repeats, you can see that Inky's X position is being printed out. You can see here I can change it as I change my guy around on the screen. Okay, well, I don't think this game is really that fun because the ghosts, honestly, they're too good. The game's too hard. One of the ways to fix that, I think, is to slow the game down. So let's change the frame rate here. Let's knock that frame rate down until we have a nice, the ghosts, move kind of nicer. We could also probably, there we go. Now we can get away from them. Here they come. We probably could also just slow the ghosts down, because the more you slow the frame rate down, the jumpier the game looks. And you kind of have to find a nice equilibrium between there. Well, looks like I am screwed. Here they come, and they've got me. Nothing happens when they get me yet, so it doesn't really matter, but we'll code that in a minute. So another feature that I'd like to add today is I'd like to be able to make it like Mario, so that when I look at one of the ghosts, they stop moving. And so we need to keep track of what direction my character is pointing. So we're going to actually create a variable for that. Okay, we're going to go up here up to speed, and we're going to create a variable that represents the direction I last pressed on the keyboard. And I think the best variable type for that is going to be a character, because it's just going to be a single, up, down, left, right, U, D, L, or R. And we're going to call that direction. And so that we're going to declare that variable so we can use it later. So how am I going to do that? Well, obviously I'm going to set my direction when I press my keys. So I'm going to come down here to the key pressed function, and I'm going to add a line of code in each of these if statements right here. Oh, sorry if that jumped around for you there. I'm going to set a line of code here for each one. So I'm going to say direction now, and I have to set it equal to one letter because I declared this variable to be a char, or a character. And characters are given inside of single quotes. And so if they press up, I'm going to have it be U. If they press down, I'm going to have it be D. If they press left, I'll have it be L. I think you see where we're headed here. and then have that one be R. Okay, fantastic. Well, why does any of this matter? So we've set this variable to match the last key that was pressed. So kind of the way that we, make our character look. Even though we can't tell on the screen, we don't have any graphical sort of look for that. We probably could. We could work that in a minute, or you could do that if you're stealing this game. I'm going to put the code up here in a minute. But now we need to make the ghosts know about that. And so we need to stop them from chasing us based on where it looks. And so we need to think about all of these if statements right here. So here's the if statement for if Casper is left-right. So let's see. If Casper is to the right of the player. Well, we only want him to chase them if the person is looking the other way. So we want to say right here, and this is going to get a little bit tricky to think about. Casper is to the right of the player. So if this person has hit right, then we want Casper to stop because the player is looking at Casper or whatever ghost. So we're going to say he has to be to the right, and direction cannot be. This means cannot be. Direction cannot be right. So make sure we got that right. Casper is over here, and the player is over here. And if the player hits right, we want him to not be able to move at him. So we say direction is not right. So that's pretty easy. So both of those have to be true. And we can do the same thing here. Direction is not left. And then we can, on these ones, it's pretty easy, I think. We can say, and direction is not up. So Casper's not looking up. And direction is not down. So this is a new operator you may not have seen before. It's just like the equals equals operator, but obviously the opposite. So this whole thing is going to evaluate true if direction is anything other than D. Okay. All right, so it looks like we ought to be able to do this here. So I ought to be able to freeze some of the ghosts. So let's see, which ghost could I freeze? I'm going to freeze this top one. All right, so you see he can't come at me anymore. But this guy's getting a little too close for comfort, so I'm going to move that way. And now that guy can come get me. And oh, now I've got them all stopped. But I can't get away. It's just like in Mario, right? If I try and get away, they come at me. Alright, fantastic. We'll see some more stuff next time.